What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be reacting to the 4th episode of Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elaina. This one's titled The Princess Without Subjects. Excuse me. Princess Without Subjects. Figurehead princess, not a real princess. Maybe a second, third, or fourth in line princess who doesn't have any responsibilities of the main princess. Maybe that's where they're going with this, I'm not quite sure. This series changed. After the first 2 episodes, this show changed, because episode 3 introduced the more depressing and tragic side of traveling and meeting people. Not every story is a happy one. And I think that's definitely splitting the audience of this show. Because, well, a lot of us were looking forward to a cutesy show like this, traveling around, meeting new people, having fun, blah blah blah. A lot of us were into that, and I was definitely into that as we started, because I thought, what a great way to end my Friday night recordings for my Saturday shows, than to have a nice relaxing time and enjoy and smile. Ultimately, that didn't end up being the case, because now we're starting to get into more darker territory. The first one being of a seemingly magical entity that can pose and is trying to get people from nearby towns and such to come to this like flower forest, essentially, and be turned into plants and feed the forest, essentially. Which, okay, is that inherently evil, though? This is just an entity that is surviving, and it's just the natural course of life. It's weird because humans are the ones being hunted, and as humans, we're not used to being hunted in that sense. We're kind of top of the food chain animals. We hunt other things. Nothing really comes to hunt us in our normal day-to-day lives, at least in the developed world. I'm sure if you go into more tribal areas, less developed areas where you have actual tribes and villages that are amongst more nature, maybe that changes a little bit. But in Britain and America, you don't hear this sort of thing. So ultimately, she doesn't intervene in any way. She's partially responsible for the guy that she sees get eaten by the plant, but she doesn't seem to show any willingness to intervene, which, I mean, sparks a debate. Like, should she intervene? Because the typical hero character that you'd see in these types of shows, and is normally portrayed, would, without questioning it, seek vengeance against it and say, you are an evil entity and all this. But is it an evil entity? It's just doing what it does to survive. Is it doing anything inherently wrong? I mean, if this was truly a major issue and people are aware of it, surely someone, if they really wanted to deal with it, surely they would send someone to deal with it. It's not her responsibility. She's not commissioned to do it. She doesn't get anything out of it. So I can see why she didn't intervene in that one. I'm going to assume that by the time he was hugging up to the flower and deluded, thinking that was his sister and such, I assume at that point it was too late to save him. It didn't look like it was too late in the adaptation, but I'm assuming that they're implying that really she couldn't have saved him, and seeking revenge probably wouldn't have done anything because there's no one to revenge, or avenge, I should say. So I can understand that one. And then this one, the next one, Bottled Happiness. We meet a mage who's collecting happiness from around the world, people's experiences and such, to bring to this girl, Nino, who is in a terrible situation that I'm sure happened a lot back in the Middle Ages, and honestly, up until recently, and probably kind of still happens to this day, unfortunately, just because of the nature of human beings. She is a slave girl, was purchased from a foreign land, and is serving the master of the house in sexual favors by the looks of things. Someone pointed out as well that when we first see her leaving his room, she's like her clothes are a little off and still put in the process of getting her clothes back on, implying the sexualness of it. I mean, I picked up on the sexualness of their potential interactions. I didn't notice that small detail though, which emphasizes it even more. But you could also see the way was he a mayor? What was he? I don't know what he was in relation to it, but he was a high-up figure, at least in this town or city or whatever. And yeah, just the way he looked at Elaina was like he was eyeing her up almost. I don't know why. I don't think he would have had any power over her, but still. Maybe because of influence anyway. But yeah, the girl's depressed, and he does give her the present. However, it raises another story that Elaina has brought up in parallel. If you're depressed and you don't get to experience things, seeing other people experiencing it and seeing their joy doesn't help you feel happy. You don't feel happy because of seeing someone else's happiness. You can do that, but in that sort of position where you are so depressed and can't experience anything for yourself, seeing everyone else be happy is soul crushing to you. And in the story for Elaina, I think it was said that it drove her to the character in that to suicide. I believe was the intention. I'm going to assume a similar fate probably befell Nino in some aspect. And yeah, the mage Emil, who was the one who was giving the happiness, he's naive in not understanding exactly what's happening to her in his own house, and not understanding that just bringing someone happiness doesn't automatically make them happy. So, to be honest, I actually quite, thinking about it now, because it's been a week, I'll wrap this up in a minute, but thinking back on this show, those two stories make a lot more sense in my mind, and I'm appreciative of those little mini episodes a lot more now. Like, it was a turn, and it was quite the shock to have more depressing stories in the show, but actually, thinking about them, I quite like them. I really do quite like those stories. Like, I know some people are like, well, why didn't you help? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? It's like, well, it's not in her character to be like that. She's not the hero archetype that does these sorts of things, and yeah, it makes sense to me, which is, I don't know if that's more depressing on what my mindset is like or what, but yeah, I very much enjoyed it, and I'm curious to see if this episode, which seems to be just one whole episode, last time was split into 2 bits, this one seems to be just one whole one, I wonder if this is also going to be a depressing story, and we're going to start going down that route, or if we're going to have a happier one to cheer us up after the first go. Anyway, with all that said, as always, this is a time-based format reactions. Bottom left down there on the screen, you're going to see the timer for the episode. I'll count down 3, 2, 1, play. Now on play, you start the episode, I start the episode, and we'll be in sync. Watch this one on Funimation as per usual, since that's who's licensed it here in the UK and US. We've got Katakaba logo and Funimation logo to start, roughly 10 seconds of logos. I'll call them out as I go past, and you can also use the screen flash on either my face or on the mic arm, particularly the golden bit, to tell when scenes are transitioning. So, with all that said, let's just get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. There's Kadokawa. And Funimation. I need more drink. Here we go. Okay. No, so I assume this is going to be a parallel to our princess we meet. Someone that realistically you can't... Not something that realistically can be... Well, yeah. That's going to be complicated. Okay, and into OP. So, are we going to be meeting said princess, or are we going to be meeting the child of the princess? Oh, hang on. The princess without subjects. I guess technically, that child would be a princess, but with no claim to the throne, would not have any subjects, and would have no... and could not be a princess in the traditional sense. Maybe that's where they're going with it. But how do we meet her? Still like this OP. It's very light-hearted considering content of the last episode, but whatever. Good looking show as well. Hi, Fran. I hope we see her again fairly soon. Alright. Here we go. Oh, that's quite a depressing one. Okay. The princess without subjects. Excuse me. Oh shit, we winter now? That's a pretty war-torn city. Yeah, it is. Is there going to be anyone there? I would assume. Maybe this is the princess without subjects because everyone's gone. It's probably one. So yeah, something tells me this isn't going to be a happy story. Don't know what's cluing me into that, but. Mm-hmm. That seems relatively intact. Actually, looks pretty well intact considering what's happened around the town or city itself. So I assume there's still people living in here. Oh. What was that? Interesting. Not gonna work. And now it opens. Oh shit. Well, that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it. Okay. I mean, she knocked so weakly. How was anyone meant to hear that? Like, come on. Okay, this is, I guess, the royals. Do you know of him? Or her? Or her? Oh, there is someone here. It's this one, okay. Hmm. You can be a bit more specific than that. Mirose, okay. You don't know? Interesting. How could you not know? Hmm. Interesting. Probably sees it written down somewhere. A journal, a diary of some sorts? A letter? Princess without subjects makes sense. I don't know why my computer's having a little trouble recently. Hmm. Huh? What's going on here? Oh, shit. Nice. Oh. A demonic beast of some sort? Oh, shit. Javalier, okay. Interesting. Oh, boy. That's lovely. Oh, boy. Because then it would just follow. Hmm. Well, there was a magical barrier that she passed through, so I'm going to guess that's something. Princess without subjects, yeah. And you just bring that monster to someone else. Oh, she's a witch? Nice. Mm-hmm. Who wrote the letter? Right. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, 7th days. Okay, so it's not been that long. Hmm. Okay, so she understands her magic now. Nice. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. Not gonna do anything for free. Okay. Next day. Place is still a mess. I mean, yes. I'm hungry. God, I'm hungry again. Mm-hmm. How are we going to help? Mm-hmm. Well, how much food do they have in this place before it all runs out, you know? Hmm. Interesting. Did she write the letter to herself? That was a creepy shot. Ominous and creepy. What are we preparing for here? See, this looks really bad. This looks so bad. Hmm. Okay. There's a sound plan. Yeah. Hmm. Assuming you survive. Huh? Hmm. Alright. That works. Oh boy. Nice. Feel like we're gonna get some good combat scene here. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Oh boy. Can't wait to see the full design here. Come on, out of the shadows. Let's see it. Oh, we're getting glimpses. God, the movement of it is creepy. I love it. Here we go. Is it gonna work? It did. Okay, nice. Worked like a charm. But now, can we kill it from here? Oh, it can't climb out. Nice, nice, nice. God, that's a good shot. With the projectile just coming right from the right-hand side of you, that's perfect. Oh, sound design, yes! This is an absolute beatdown. Yes, she is. damn. Just unloading on this thing. Holy shit. She's fine. This thing's still holding on, though. What's with that super low frame rate fire effect? Was that my computer having an issue, or was it genuinely super low FPS? I love this, though. I think it's intentionally low FPS now. Whoa, who's that in the flames? Is this a memory of her past life? Oh no. Oh no. Oh shit. Okay. Jesus Christ. Pyranicos versus Penny Polentila much. Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. It's still not dead, though. It's clinging on. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay. 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 And then the cook was killed for it. Mm-hmm. Saw that one coming. But what happened to the kid? Oh shit, really? So she set this all up herself. She wrote the letter to herself. Oh shit. Under her choice. Oh. Holy shit, she is pretty twisted. The amount of innocence, though, that you... The amount of innocence that you... And that's why she knows how to cook. Because the cook... She was married to a cook. That's why she knows how to bake and shit. That makes so much sense. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't know how comfortable I feel with being in her presence, though. Like, I get why she did it, but it's inherently wrong. She killed... Oh, she's crazy. She's crazy, okay. Yeah, get out of there, Elaina. Okay. Yeah, love story. Oh shit, okay. That was an episode. I mean, wow. I really like that though. I really did enjoy that one. Like, you can understand why the princess did it. She was in such a point of despair, having everything taken from her by her father, that she'd curse him to understand how she felt. But she went too far. Like, that's the problem with trying to seek vengeance on something. You always take it a step too far, and you unintentionally hurt others in doing so. Well, I don't know if she cares about the unintentionally harming others. She wiped out so many innocents just to get back at her father for that. Again, you understand the character motivation. But man. And the way they introduced it with framing of the cook and the cook and the princess story, and the fact that she knew how to bake as a princess because she was married or wanted to marry and have a kid with the cook. It's like, yeah, really good. I really enjoyed that story. Again, it's a darker story, but it was really well done. And we got some more action out of it, which was actually really good. Alright. And that's it. Okay, no preview for next time. Holy cow. That was an episode. That was really, really good. It's a shame I left it a little later to watch it instead of watching it. Actually, no, I'm glad I've left this, because if you couldn't already tell, it's now daytime when I'm recording this. I'm recording this basically about an hour or so before I upload this to YouTube. I'm trying to do a quick turnaround on this one. But it's been about 14 or so hours since I finished my recordings for the rest of today's shows. And I'm glad I've left for this one until after I've slept and had food and everything, because I think I can appreciate this more now that I'm not tired, because, yeah, this was a very well executed story, quite literally in some cases, but, so yeah, she organized all of this. She wrote a letter to herself to try and do this, created Javelier, to destroy the town. She protected herself from it with the barrier that we saw when she first passed through. And yeah, linking it to the story of the cook and the princess. But as soon as you heard, like, I think we all heard it. So when they first introduced the story to us at the very beginning of the episode of a cook, someone of non-royalty, falling in love with royalty, and them coming together and having a secret love, like almost like a tryst or whatever. But as soon as you all heard that, you knew exactly where this story was going. Especially since this story and this show is very much embracing its darker tones. We all knew exactly where that story would end up. Like, there's no way the king would ever go along with it. Like, very, very rarely would you find a royal that is accepting enough to allow something like that to happen. Like, the class system takes priority over everything, including your own family's well-being and happiness, just because of the nature of this time period that it's set in, and the fantasy worlds always having these hierarchies based on royalty and noble blood and all this sort of stuff. So we all saw that one coming. I didn't quite expect it to be her cursing her father into this demonic entity to wipe out her own city. Or kingdom, country, whatever it is, end up being. That was really, really good. And then for the actual combat, when she's fighting her father, really, really well done. The sound design was perfect. The visuals were perfect. This is a very, very well executed show. And now that we're actually getting into the darker parts of the show, I'm really digging it. Like, yes, it's not quite what I imagined I was going to be getting into, and part of me still wants to have that light-hearted travel-type show, episodic. Part of me still wants that, but at the same time, these darker tones are actually really well executed. which I appreciate. And the more I think about them, the more I realize how well they are crafted. And they're not just nonsensical and just dark for the sake of being dark. There is a reason for it, and it does make sense to me. So I'm very much enjoying this one. Thank you everyone for watching as well. I hope you enjoyed this one as well. I know some people didn't like the fact that this show was going into the darker tones. Hopefully, after a week of time to watch that episode and understand the reasons why, and now seeing this one do another darker tone, but I think an even better job of it, hopefully now people are starting to get on board with the idea of having these darker tones in it. If not, I'm sorry, but we're definitely continuing this one. 3-episode rule. I think for this show you had to make it a 4-episode rule, because if you made your judgment based on the first 2 episodes, you'd be disappointed with the rest of it. If you made your judgment on the first 3, I think you might misinterpret it, but based on these 4, I think we've got a good, accurate representation of what this show actually is. So it's a little longer than the normal 3-episode rule, but I think overall it is worth it. So leave a like and leave your comments as well on what you thought. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the full 2020 lineup you can find on the channel. This one's like an hour late from its normal programming slot, but that's fine. We've got the rest of the Sunday shows coming tomorrow. And yeah, we're almost a third of the way through the season already. Like, we're fast approaching a third of the way through the season. I can't believe it's almost the end of October already. And the growth that this channel's had this month has been absolutely staggering. Thank you everyone for that. Maybe we can hit 400 subs by the end of the month. That would be incredible, and I wouldn't know how to thank you guys if that happens. So thank you everyone for watching, and until next time, see you guys later.